You're about to discover 5 insanely delicious slider recipes that are perfect for any occasion. These are easy to make, packed with flavor, and totally addictive. Whether you're looking to feed a crowd or just want a new fun dinner idea, you'll want to try all of these. Stay until the end to find a new favorite. All right, first up, we're gonna try out the viral grinder sub, but we're gonna make it in slider form. These are gonna be perfect for game day or even lunches, snacks, whatever. So down here, first we're gonna prepare the little salad that goes in. I think this is kind of what this recipe is famous for. All right, so to a bowl, we're gonna add some shredded lettuce. We're gonna add some mayonnaise. And I'm gonna have this recipe linked down below. It will take you right to my website, right to the printable recipe. So you can click on it to see the exact measurements or go ahead and print it off. We're also gonna add in some diced red onion. Next, we're gonna add in some chopped pickles and some chopped banana peppers. Then next, the dressing that you use is this original submarine dressing. You get this in the deli section. So we're just gonna squirt some in. Now we're just gonna stir everything together. All right, we have our salad all mixed up. We're gonna set that to the side. And next, we're gonna grab our Hawaiian Rolls. All right, next we have 12 of the Hawaiian Rolls. And these are the savory butter flavor. Any kind that you wanna use, I'm sure will be just fine. And now we are going to carefully just cut our Hawaiian rolls in half. All right, so I'm gonna move the top half away for just a minute. This is just the bottom half of our Hawaiian rolls. And we're just gonna spread a little bit of Duke's, a little bit of mayonnaise on here. All right, so the oven is preheated to 400. We're just gonna pop these in here for just about 5 minutes until our bottom buns are slightly toasted. So now what we're gonna do is chop up some pepperoni and salami. You basically just want them in bite-sized little pieces. This part does not have to be exact. Just gonna chop it all up. And along with our pepperoni and salami, we're also gonna do the same thing to just some regular deli smoked ham. Now over in our skillet, we're just gonna add in our ham, our pepperoni, and our salami. And we're just basically warming this up. I'm just gonna stand here and kind of stir it around for maybe just a few minutes, maybe 5 minutes or so. Next, I just have a little bit of melted butter here. And to it, we're gonna add a little bit of garlic powder. And this is just gonna be what we brush over the tops of our slider rolls. A little bit of Italian seasoning. Give that a little mix. Now we're just gonna bring back over the bottom of our buns. You can see they got a little bit toasted up. Now we're just gonna place on here some sliced provolone cheese, probably about 6 slices. Next, we're gonna bring back over all of our little meats and we're just gonna pile it on our buns. All right, now we're just gonna bring back over the tops to our sliders, as well as that butter we just made up for the tops. And I'm just gonna brush our tops with butter. So now our sliders are just going back into the oven for another 5 minutes, just this time to toast the tops. Alrighty, y'all, look how good these look already. And we have not even added that part I think these are most famous for. We gotta add that little salad back in there. All right, we're just gonna spread on this little salad. Y'all, these look so good. I think the mixture of the warm, melty cheese and this cold salad is gonna be perfect. All right, now we're just gonna place the tops back on. Y'all, does that look good or what? We're gonna make French dip sliders. So I'm just taking a medium-sized onion. I'm gonna slice that really thinly and then just saute that in a couple tablespoons of butter until it's nice and soft and caramelized. Then we're gonna bring over, of course, a package of our Hawaiian rolls, and I'm gonna get those all sliced in half and then just put the bottom into a 9x13 baking dish. Next, we're just going to add on some cheese. You can use whatever kind of cheese you like. I'm just using some provolone, and basically I just want to make a big layer of cheese. It's going to be cheesy and delicious. And then next, we're going to bring over some ultra thin roast beef. I'm just using the Hillshire Farm kind, and it turned out perfect. And you just want to kind of layer this on. And I kind of like to bundle mine up. I just think the texture is better than just, laying out the meat in flat pieces. But do it however you want to. These will turn out great. Here's a little look at our onions over there sauteing. They're almost browned up. And so when they are, I'm going to bring those over and just pile those right on top of that roast beef. Next, after our onions are on there, we're going to create another layer of that provolone cheese, and then we're going to make a little sauce that we're going to put over the top. So we're actually just going to use 3 tablespoons of this onion soup mix. You won't need the whole packet for this. I also have some melted butter over here, so I'm just going to add in that onion soup and kind of give that a stir, and then just put that evenly all over the tops of our slider buns. And you can pour it or kind of use a sauce brush, but I noticed the little onions in there were kind of getting stuck in my little roll crevices, so you just kind of have to make sure, they're evenly distributed. And pour the rest of that butter on there, and these are going to bake at 350 for about 25 minutes covered, and then you'll uncover them and bake them another 5 minutes or so just to kind of brown up those tops. So while our sliders are in the oven, I just mixed up a little packet of au jus gravy mix, and that is absolutely perfect with these sliders. These come out cheesy. The bottoms of the rolls kind of bake and crisp up in that butter. It is so good, and I have to tell y'all, this is probably one of our family's new favorite sliders. These are delicious. We're going to make some chicken parm sliders, and I have to tell y'all, these were delicious. So we're going to start by making just some chicken tenders, whatever kind is your favorite. I really like these crispy chicken strips by Tyson, and you can do them in the oven, but they are amazing in the air fryer. Just gets them a little bit more crispy. So I'm just doing a little bit of these sliders today. I'm going to add a layer of provolone cheese. Again, add whatever cheese you like best. And then once those chicken tenders are nice and cooked, I'm just going to chop them up and plop them on. And pro tip, let them cool down before you do this. Y'all, I was burning my fingers all to pieces when I was adding this chicken on. And then next, whatever favorite marinara you like. Of course, we love Rayo's. We're just going to pour a little layer right on top of the chicken. And then I went back with my spoon and just kind of spread it out as evenly as I could. Next, we're going to add another layer of that provolone cheese and then pop our tops back on there. But now just over on the side, I'm just adding some melted butter and garlic powder, and that's going to be our topping for these sliders. And we're also going to add a little bit of the green shaker jar Parmesan cheese right on top of that. We're going to cover them with some foil, and these are going to bake at 350 for about 20 minutes. Really all we're doing is browning up the rolls and getting our cheese all melty. And let me tell y'all, we loved these as well. Those crispy chicken strips were perfect. You have the soft buttery roll and then that crunch from the chicken inside. And of course, that provolone cheese and that sauce goes so perfectly together. You really can't go wrong with this one. I think if you haven't tried it, you will absolutely love it. Okay, so I just have a baking sheet that I lined with some parchment paper. And now we're just going to take a packet of the King's Hawaiian sweet rolls, and I'm going to cut these in half so we can put all the goodness inside. All right, I got my rolls cut in half. Now we're going to go over to the stove and make the little butter mixture that goes inside. We're just going to add 1 stick of butter. And the recipe also calls for chopped fresh chives, just about a tablespoon. To my saucepan, I'm also gonna add 1 teaspoon of garlic salt and then a half a teaspoon of onion powder. I'm just gonna let this butter melt along with all these other flavors in here, and this will be our sauce for our sliders. All right, so I got my butter mixture over here, and I'm just gonna brush on a little layer of the butter right onto the buns. Of course, I'm sure there are so many different variations to making these. I've seen this recipe a lot, but I've never made it, so thought we would give it a try. Next, I have a pack of Colby Jack cheese. This recipe in particular calls for 12 slices. This pack comes with 11, so I'm just gonna use this pack. Next, we're gonna add our chicken layer. And I just went to the deli and got 1 pound of shaved chicken breast. So it's really, really fine. And of course, you could even do this with rotisserie chicken or just chicken that you cooked yourself. But I think it's gonna be really good with this shaved deli chicken. Next, you're gonna take about 8 slices of bacon, cook it and crumble it up. Or you can use another shortcut like I'm gonna do and just use some real bacon bits. And I'm just gonna sprinkle some on. All right, the next layer is gonna be our ranch dressing. So I'm gonna use this kind of ranch, but feel free to use whatever kind you want. And it says about 1/3 cup, but I'm just gonna drizzle some on. Next is another cheese layer. I'm just gonna use about 4 slices of cheese here. I think that'll be enough since we already have a good layer of cheese down below. Next, we're gonna come in with another brushed butter layer. Oh my goodness, y'all, these things look decadent already. We're having these for lunch, so these could definitely be like a little meal, or of course, these would be a really good holiday appetizer. All right, now we're gonna brush the tops again with that butter, chive, and garlic mixture. And y'all, I still have a good bit of butter in here. It really doesn't need all that, so I'm just gonna leave that to the side. Last but not least, we're gonna give a little sprinkle of just the green can Parmesan cheese. Now I'm gonna loosely cover these with some foil, and these are gonna bake at 350 for about 20 minutes, and then I'll uncover them for another 10 minutes. All right, y'all, here they are. They look so, so good. And I actually only baked them for the 20 minutes. I uncovered them, and the sides are starting to get a little brown. So I'm not even gonna put them back in there. I think they look delicious just as is, and I cannot wait to try them. Here's a peek at the inside. And we're sitting here having these, and y'all, gotta tell you, these are so good. I'm surprised I haven't made these before. I will definitely be making these again, and these might even be a Christmas Eve edition. And lastly, who doesn't love a good old cheeseburger when watching the game? We're gonna make ultimate cheeseburger sliders. So I have about 2 pounds of ground beef here that I'm just gonna brown up. Again, I'm just adding some dried onion. I'm adding some of this buttery steakhouse seasoning, and then this other seasoning by Fire and Smoke. It had some garlic in there, some dill, what else? Paprika, onion, and I just thought that sounded really good for a cheeseburger. So use any seasonings you like, or you could even use an onion soup packet in here. I did add salt and pepper as well, and I just got that mixture all browned up. All right, so I have drained our ground beef, and now I'm just gonna add a few tablespoons of mayonnaise. And basically this is just kind of a binder to hold together everything on our slider buns. But you could also add ketchup or mustard, but I just think my family, especially my kids, will like it better with kind of just the mayonnaise. And then we're just gonna stir everything together. We're just gonna let that ground beef sit for a few minutes. And so meanwhile, over here in a small saucepan, I have half a stick of butter that is melting. We're gonna add 3 or 4 dashes of Worcestershire sauce. I found my garlic salt, y'all. I'm just gonna add a little of that. Also gonna add some onion powder. I'm just gonna whisk all that together. All right, next we're gonna bring over our Hawaiian rolls. I already sliced these in half. So I'm just gonna get the bottoms transferred over here to a baking sheet. Next, I'm just gonna bring over that ground beef and start piling it on. And of course you could serve these with all the regular cheeseburger fixings like lettuce and tomato and all that. And you could kind of open them back up and let everyone, you know, top theirs however they want. But I think they're good just like this. All right, you kind of want to even it out. Make sure you get it to the edges so each little roll has some. Next, on top of our ground beef, I'm just going in with some sharp cheddar cheese. And I accidentally bought the super thin kind, so I'm just gonna kind of layer it up a little bit. Next, I'm gonna bring over that butter mixture and just put a small layer on top of the cheese. All right, now we're ready for the tops of our buns. Then we're gonna do a little bit more butter on the tops. Kind of take some of the extra and go around the sides a little bit. And lastly, we're just gonna sprinkle the tops with a few sesame seeds. Of course, this is optional. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. All right, I'm gonna get these covered tightly with some foil, and these are gonna go into the oven at 350 for about 20 minutes. All we're really doing is toasting up the buns and melting that cheese inside. These turned out so delicious. They were super cheesy, and that cheese, along with the little hint of sweetness from those Hawaiian rolls, made these little cheeseburgers so amazing. Everybody liked them. Even my daughter, who doesn't even love cheeseburgers, loved these. So I think this is also a great option if you don't want to grill a bunch of cheeseburgers. These are super easy to throw together ahead of time, and you have a delicious little spread. All right, that is 5 delicious sliders you need to try. Which one are you making first? Let me know down in the comments. And if you love easy recipes like this, check out my next video right here on the screen. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a meal idea. I'll see y'all real soon in the next video. Bye y'all.